Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Wild Bird Creative. Today I have an 8x8 piece that we are just going to dive into. I've got paper already sitting here ready to go. Just bits that I've torn up and set aside, and now it's time to make use of them. So let me get a nice coating down here. And we will get started. Down here just to make sure that he sticks. And then I'm going to go right over the edges of this pattern scrap. It soaks right on through and adheres nicely. Okay, keep adding more. I think I want this one down here. Let's move him up a bit. Let's put this guy down here. It's such a nice corner piece. These are all, like I said, just odds and ends that have been sitting around. And it's finally time to use them. Want something for right there. I don't know what yet though. Let me just look around. You know what? I think I'm going to use this. Everything a quick once over to make sure it's stuck down. Set this aside, and the next thing I'm going to do is start right in with the paint. And this is my Stencil Girl S691. From Stencil Girl Products. Now I've got a lot of colors in the background, so I do want to tone it down a little bit, but not too much. So I'm thinking a nice yellow. This is fairly translucent. Just go right in, and I know that the medium is still wet, but that's okay. This next step can be a part that kind of freaks people out because they think, oh, I put so much time into that layer. Why would I want to cover it up? But that's what we're going to do. I've got just a gray that I mixed up here. I don't happen to have one that's like a Payne's gray or anything, so I just make my own. And I'm just using a palette knife and just coming right on down over everything. And it's okay. Try not to get too in love with the layers that you have down below, because you're going to want to change things up. Let's add a little bit more in a couple of spots. So you can still see what's underneath. You just can't see all of it. Think about the walls that you see that have lots of posters on them, especially in cities, in theater districts. There's a lot going on. Okay, everybody, we are on the final steps. I have my Shawn Petite Messy Flower stencil, and I'm going to use the bigger one here. And I'm going to mix some black and purple together. I don't want it to be totally black. I want there to be just a touch of another color. So I'll just mix it up. Getting a little pink in there, but that's okay. See, it's making it have a little more interest to it. So, let me set this up as I want it. And just come right in. I wanted it to be a very bold, contrasting color. That's why I am going with this black and purple mix. I hear my cat crying. I have shut the cellar door, and of course she wants in now, even though she also just wanted to leave. But if you have an animal, you know how that goes. Let's see. Make sure I've got it as dark as I want it. And I do. And I'm going to set this aside and get a little tiny brush. And now what I'll do is I'll just connect some of the spots. Only takes a couple seconds to do this. You can also use the time to add more dots if you want. You can get a little more creative with things if you think you might want maybe an extra leaf or two. Now is the time to do it. I think I've got everything all set here. I'm going to add a little more to these dots just to make them stand out a little more. Maybe add a couple more. Now, I have a brand new stencil from Folk Art, and I just love it. It's just a fun alphabet, and I'm going to turn it my way. I'm not going to try to do this upside down. I don't feel that confident in my abilities today to do things upside down. So I'm going to need some more paint. This time I'm just going to add the black and just mix it right in with my leftover pink and purple mix. Okay. And I'm using a makeup sponge because you can get an awful lot of nice control with a makeup sponge. And this is just going to be simple. I'm just doing bloom. I'm not doing anything too fancy. Just keeping it simple. Oh. One more letter. I just have to keep myself focused. What's nice about this stencil, other than the font, is the fact that you can see through it a little bit, so you can see what you are doing. So you can line things up pretty easily. Get a little more on this one. And then what I'll do is bring in my brush, fill in little spots on the O's and the B's. Darken up a little bit on the M. And when that is dry, I will run some detail around it so it stands out even more. But right now, we are done. Simple, lots of layers, bold finish. A fun spring piece, 8x8. You can easily get a frame at your local craft store. Pop it right in, have a gift, or put it on your wall.